Folks, you got to check this out. New pictures this afternoon showing just how massive Hurricane Gabrielle really is. An astronaut on board the International Space Station snapped these pictures of the storm. Wow. That is a big storm, Chris.
That's textbook right there. I mean, it's perfectly symmetrical. You can see the outflow. Yeah,
Is that thing moving fast?
It's picking up speed now. It's in the upper level steering currents in the northern Atlantic, and it's pushing towards the Azores now, and I believe there's hurricane warnings up for them. We're not going to have to worry about that, obviously.
Yeah.
The storms that we're worried about, the two invests that are close to the Leeward Islands.
Those two waves?
Yeah, the two waves. And, you know, it's funny because the more I look at this, Steve and I, the more complicated it gets because the modeling is trying to figure out how two storms within 500 miles of each other can coexist. You know, does one overshadow the other? Do we have two hurricanes? Do they merge into one superstorm?
Have you ever seen anything like that?
So I've seen situations similar to this, but the storms were farther apart. These are pretty close. Wow. So, you know, we're trying to kind of figure out how all this is going to play out over the next week to 10 days. So, matter of fact, let's talk about this now here. What we know up to this point, and it isn't much. We know there are two storms near the Leeward Islands. All right, both storms eventually turn northwest, likely becoming named storms by Sunday. And that's it. That's all we know up to this point here. That's how complicated this whole situation is. So there's a look at Gabrielle pulling away northern Atlantic. Here's a look at the two invests. Invest 93L, which is better organized. Invest 94L here. There's the Leeward Islands. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Invest 94L over the next couple of days because it's going to interact with some of the rough terrain here of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Huge mountaintops, 8,000 to 10,000 feet. And a lot of times when a storm pushes over something like that, the higher terrain just rips it apart. So it's going to be interesting to see how these interact over the next, let's say, 3 to 5 days. Right now, it does appear as if this one is better organized. You can clearly see the outflow, and the convection is wrapping around the center of circulation. Honestly, this could be a depression now. This one is a little less organized, but it should get better organized as it moves here. It reemerges over the warm waters of the Atlantic, just off the coast of the Turks and Caicos Islands. Here's a look at the ensembles. Again, I'm not really concerned about this one here, Invest 93L. Every model takes it north, northeast, and out to sea. It's this one here, Invest 94L. Down the road, we could have some issues with this as it turns to the north. Now, there's going to be a front and an upper level low here, which may end up slamming the doors shut for Florida. We'll see. But at some point, it's going to turn north. Is it close enough to hit the Carolinas? And for that, I'm going to bring in Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel. Steve, you've been here almost 3 decades. You've seen it all. In your experience, when you see two storms this close together, what usually ends up happening here?
One usually wins out. It's very rare to get them so close together, too. I mean, the models, Chris, we were talking about this earlier, have them both about 300-400 miles apart from each other. That's very, very close and very unusual. I just don't, I suspect that won't actually verify. But if it does, we may see something called the Fujiwara effect.
You know what? I was gonna talk about that, but I'll save that for you.
Yeah, all right. I got out the crayons.